My name is Cris Salazar. I work for the Calapooya Watershed Council as the Habitat Restoration Program Manager. A Watershed Council is an organization that works with voluntary landowners, whether it's private or public, and we try to rebuild wildlife and fish habitat in areas that were degraded by humans. Mainly what I do is write grants to get habitat restoration projects funded and then manage those projects, usually for about 5 years, until they're kind of to the point where we can step away and they can continue to do good. So the Truax Island project's goal is to enhance the floodplain habitat for endangered salmonids in the Willamette River. Mainly Upper Willamette River steelhead and Upper Willamette River chinook, both listed as threatened. But what it does is it's rebuilding that connection between the land and the river and giving them a place to hide during floods, to feed during floods, and to protect the water body during the summertime from high temperatures and just human activity. So by creating these forests along the river's edge, when it floods, the fish can kind of explore these areas and find food sources that they're unavailable otherwise, and then also basically just stay in place. It's a refuge for juvenile fish. Why I wanted to work for a watershed council is that they look at a watershed or a river basin in more of a holistic way, when otherwise there'll be different land managers that own this portion or that portion, but may have different goals and objectives. And as a watershed council, we try to meet with all of these different interests and stakeholders to come together for the same goals and basically create partnerships between agencies to try to fill in gaps where agencies aren't able to either collect data or, in this instance, try to restore a portion of the forest. Although we are a watershed council, we don't work exclusively in rivers. We do projects within rivers like log placements and things like that, but a lot of our work focuses actually on the upland or terrestrial habitats, mainly because these are kind of the linkage between the river and the land. These riparian areas and floodplain areas work to buffer the river from the effects of the city and urban development, whether it be runoff or temperature. One of the big issues here in the Willamette and in the Northwest for cold water fishes is water temperature. So by rebuilding riparian areas or the areas that border rivers, we're able to kind of create a protective area around bodies of water that can then, protect the species that live there. We usually do about 20% trees and 80% shrubs so that we really get that understory developed. I was born in the Bay Area in San Jose, California, and then I moved to Roseburg, Oregon when I was 9, and immediately just fell in love with the outdoors. I mean, I was surrounded by rivers and forests, and initially just started hiking and camping and fishing and things like that, and then kind of slowly realized that there was a career in doing this type of work. And really for me, I volunteered with some watershed councils early on. I mean, especially nonprofits, they're very eager to get volunteers to help them with things. So I started my schooling at Umpqua Community College. It's a 2-year, community college. But again, it allowed me to kind of explore different types of biology and kind of figure out what it is I exactly wanted to do. While I was there, I was approached by a professor that said, OSU has a program basically that is focused on fish and wildlife science. Going to OSU gave me much more specialized classes in fisheries and ecology and biology and statistics and things that are really important as a field biologist. And then when I was there, there's also a lot of research that's going on at OSU. So there's a lot of really active biologists that are doing really interesting projects that, again, often love volunteers. So the university is a great way to network because there's a lot of really busy professionals there that usually are eager to take folks under their wing. I mean, there's definitely a need to have a more diverse workforce. You know, it takes a village, you know, so to speak. The more diverse, you know, stewards of the land that we have, the more perspectives we'll have and the more success I think we'll have.